You know, it's normally sad hearing that music one time, but we heard it. This is the second time.
No, we heard it like 20 times.
We heard
earlier.
it a lot of times, more so than you guys did.
It's YouTube's fault. Don't blame us.
Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devil Show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, even leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Anthony Totri, joined, as always, on these post-game shows by Shawn DePaz, Shane Diefenbach. He's at DFA. He is going to be joining us here in just a little bit. Shawn, it is time, unfortunately, for a walk of shame. The second one of 2023, because is this the? I got to get this shit right. How many fucking games have we lost this year?
You had a second opportunity to get it right.
I know.
You didn't.
This
All
is
right. Arizona,
the first game we lost
game of the loss of 2023.
The first game, I'm heated. I'm sorry. I'm upset. This is the first time that we're going to be taking a walk of shame in 2023 because Arizona State came up just shy against number 5 UCLA, 74-62. Shawn, a lot to get into tonight, but just before we do any of that, initial reactions.
Yeah, man, I'm honestly glad this kind of all got fucked up because going into the original attempt at this, I was all kind of sad, and this I think put things in perspective, and I think it's important to put this game in perspective.
Show you what DJ Horn looked like in the second half.
He missed it. Yeah, that's a problem. But I mean, like I said, it's important to keep this game in perspective. This is a game ASU was supposed to lose. I think this is a game we had, as optimistic as we've been about this team all year. We pointed to the probability that they're going to lose 2 games to UCLA this year.
Yeah.
So you know, it
God,
sucks.
it would have just been nice.
It would have been really nice, and I really wanted it. And there was clearly a chance. But in the this is like I said to you that. This team, ASU was ASU tonight. They played amazing defense. They were really good offensively for a single half, and then their offense disappeared. They got kind of bullied on the when it came to defensive rebounds. They gave UCLA way too many second, third opportunities. That's a recipe for disaster. The fact that it was as far as it was, the fact that they got the game was as close as it was for as long as it was is important. But Cole says in the chat, I think they just kind of ran out of energy.
Yeah, they quite literally ran out of the juice down the stretch. UCLA finished the game on a 16-2 run over the last 5:50 and change. They finished on a 9-0 run with 2:30 and change. And ASU didn't score a single bucket for the last 3 minutes and 36 seconds. That is simply not good enough. No. It is not good enough to beat most teams in college basketball, let alone a top 5 team nationally, a number 1 team in a conference. And to be quite frank, what
Stanford got its first Pac-12 dub. Hey, round of applause for Stanford.
Congratulations.
They beat Oregon State.
No, it just quite frankly wasn't good enough offensively down the stretch. Defensively, they showed up. They did exactly what you expect this team to do night in, night out defensively. You look at the starters, all 5 played 30-plus minutes, but 30-plus minutes to only get 6 points from your starting point guard, not good enough. No. 6 points out of Desmond Cambridge. He'd probably be the first one to tell you it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And DJ Horn, I know he finished with 14 points, but 11 of those came in the first half?
I believe so, yeah.
Like, you
That's
just
been the
need
story
more.
all year,
you need
man.
more, man.
Yeah, it's not that you need more. You need it for a full game because you're getting plenty out of these guys for moments. But it's happened too often where either they have to come back in the second half or they disappear in the second half.
Yeah.
And that is obviously a problem. And that's going to be a problem. You can afford stuff like that now in the Pac-12. You can afford to lose a couple of games. You can afford to, play poorly because you're playing lesser teams at times. It's not going to fly in the Pac-12 tournament if you were trying to win a Pac-12 championship, but it's certainly not going to fly in the NCAA tournament.
No, by no means.
So that has to change.
But how do you let's stop what we normally do, right? For a second here, we talk about it, we move on. How do we fix this? If I'm Bobby Hurley and I'm this coaching staff, right? I go back to the drawing board. You got a big game that now is turned into, I feel like, a must-win on Saturday, right? Just to get right.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you fix an issue with DJ Horn offensively that seems to be the redheaded stepchild, for lack of better terms, when it comes to Arizona State basketball, right? Whether it's a first half dominant scoring effort like it was tonight, and then he disappears in the second half, or there's some games where he's just chucking up shots, and I know Bobby Hurley lets him shoot, right? He gives his guys a little bit of free reign. But at what point is it like, okay, we have to steer this ship offensively so we can look at a guy other than Des Cambridge night in and night out and be like, look, we're getting 15, 16, 17 points from this guy, and he's not doing it just in one half.
Yeah. I don't know if there's an answer to that.
Is it a confidence thing?
I just think this is what these guys are. They're inconsistent shooters, and they're hot and cold shooters. Which it's a kind of live or die, live by it, die by it kind of thing. I mean, I think we have to be realistic about this team, specifically the starters. Dez is a scorer, and that's what he's been this year, but it hasn't been consistent. Warren Washington's a big man who is not here for his offensive prowess necessarily.
But we've seen it. We
know he's capable of it. Yeah, but that's not why he's here. I think all of these guys are capable of having good games. Dev is not a scorer. So anytime that we get points from him, I consider it like cherry on top. That was not anything we ever expected from him. Frankie, he was the great unknown coming into this year. He didn't play much, and someone said in the chat, I don't know who it was, but someone, Joe, he said DJ got smushed against a bigger team, and then no, that's not what. Eric said it. Frankie Collins has been disappointing. He has been disappointing as far as a score, but the reality is we did not know what to expect from him coming into this because he didn't get time at Michigan, and he clearly is not a scorer. He's not a good shooter. He's shooting like 30% during the year, I think they said, and the only way he really has a chance of producing offense is driving to the basket.
Yeah,
this is not a team. This is a team that needs to rely on their defense if they're going to win games. It's just the reality of it. When you get a performance against Oregon, great, but you cannot rely on that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, UCLA is not Oregon.
No.
Right, you're gonna want to. Getting to the tournament is fine and dandy. You want to make noise.
Yeah,
you want to make a
100%.
run, right? But this is like you said, defense and transition basketball will get you past Oregon. It'll get you past 95% of the teams in the Pac-12. But when it comes down to, I would argue UCLA, USC, Arizona, potentially Utah. It's not. It barely got the job done against Oregon State.
Yeah. No. I think it is enough to beat anyone in the conference if the other team is having a bad day. UCLA did not have a bad day.
Fuck that.
No, but I mean, it's the reality of it. I think it is enough. They could have won this game if UCLA wasn't shooting the lights out in the first half. Fuck, they kept Jaime Jaquez to 2 points for the vast majority of the game. He scored 7 late, and they had Bona with almost no points for most of the game as well. So the defense did their job, or did the job. They did the job defensively, but I don't know, man. This is just what the offense is.
Cole brings up an interesting question in the chat. Do we see Nunez become the starting point guard sometime this year if Frankie doesn't bounce back?
I don't think so. I think Frankie is too valuable offensively from like a facilitator standpoint, and I still think Austin makes too many freshman mistakes.
Yeah, I think Frankie's basketball IQ is far surpassed Austin as it is right now.
Yeah, no. I think Frankie is the starting point guard for this team for the future. But
you mean Austin?
Austin, yes, excuse me. But Frankie, as for this season, he's certainly the starter. I think if Austin was the starter, he would fall out in every game. He just makes too many mistakes in that regard, which is like he's a freshman, so that shit happens. The fact that he's even getting this kind of play is wild to me. Never would have expected it.
And he's doing a lot with his minutes.
He is doing a lot with his minutes. They're productive minutes in large part, and he has cut down on those rookie mistakes from what he was doing early on in the year, but. It is weird, and people keep saying it, so I gotta say it, dude. Okay. Enoch minutes, bro, and not just Enoch minutes. We always get 1 or 2 Enoch minutes. Enoch minutes that included a bucket. We got points from Enoch. Bear 520 down.
Don't even put the clown.
Choke.
Don't even put the clown.
Come on, you lost to Oregon and Washington State. Yeah. Oregon, who we fucking boat race.
Y'all choked on some.
By the way, go check the Pac-12 standings.
Y'all choked on some duck.
I don't want to do that, but
so I don't want to hear it.
We're still ahead of you in the standings. Anyways, had to get that off my chest.
I hope UCLA beats the fuck out of the fucking Wildcats.
It would be nice
on Saturday, bro.
Would be nice. If USC had won, Arizona would not be in a
top 4
first round bye. You're in dangerous territory, my friends. Dangerous territory.
Still a lot of play
dangerous
left.
territory, and you only beat us by 9. I'm just saying.
Hey, we coming.
Well, I'm just
coming. Hey, let's take a look at the numbers of tonight's game. Obviously, the only one that matters at the end of the day is that final score, 74-62 in favor of the Bruins. A good night shooting, it felt like, for ASU. Just wasn't enough. 44.9% from the field to UCLA's 50%. Both teams shooting relatively the same from behind the arc, 40.9% for Arizona State, 42.9% for UCLA. The free throw numbers seems to be the, I guess, consistent
they don't get the line.
Inefficiency for Arizona State, right? 9 of 12 to UCLA's 16 of 21.
Yeah.
And then
offensive rebounds are 9 to 10.
9 to 10.
Forgot the one. I mean, the offensive rebounds we kind of talked about already. They get bullied on the boards, and then I guess especially against a team as good as UCLA, there's far too many like second and third chances, like I said.
Yeah.
But that free throw number is a problem. And for the people that are disappointed by Frankie, he is amazing at getting into the lane and driving to the basket. He's not great at finishing necessarily, but he is great at getting there. So that is something I would like to see more from him, is drawing fouls, getting to the line. Warren gets to the line a decent amount, but he is not a good free throw shooter. So you can only do so much with that. But those free throw numbers are a problem. And it was a problem last year. This is a team that tries to live too much out on the perimeter and not getting baskets inside. You mentioned it earlier with Warren. You've seen him produce offensively, but the problem is they don't get him the ball.
Yeah. Is that on Bobby, or who is that? Like,
I think that part's on Bobby. It's the whole guard youth thing. I think this is a situation.
Can we feed this man, dude?
Yeah.
He's 7 feet tall.
If he doesn't
give him the ball.
If he doesn't score double digits the next time they play Washington against the zone, that's a problem.
Give him the ball.
I think you got to give him the ball. I think you got to give him the ball more. But this is. Again, Frankie, another place where he gets in. He is a tremendous facilitator. Like you said, he has great basketball IQ. If he can get to the basket, make defenders in the paint respect him, and then can get the ball to Washington, that's a recipe for success. This team doesn't have to live on the paint. And if you make teams respect you with your interior offense, Dez, DJ, even Devin apparently are going to have better opportunities to hit better shots, because we mentioned that too during the game. The guards on this team have a propensity to take bad shots. It's the reality of it, especially when they've been hot for a half. Then they come into the second half and they take dumb shots. It happened from DJ. It happened from Dez tonight. They both took bad shots in the second half. That's a problem. You got to use. I think you have to play inside the paint more. I think this team can be successful there.
Yeah, JJ in the chat, my head hurts, bro. I feel you.
It says heart, but both.
Oh, my heart hurts.
They both
Bro,
hurt.
I thought he said head hurts. Honestly, my head and my heart hurt. Like, it is what it is. Before we bring Shane in here, I want to tell everybody how they can ease the pain of this L, and that is by some 4 Peaks, specifically this coming Wednesday, guys. Last Wednesdays are back. Join the PHNX crew at the 8th Street Pub on January 25th, as all of our shows are live and in person throughout the day. Guys, this includes the Suns show that you got the luxury of watching for the first 5 minutes. Enjoy $3 beer specials and come say what's up to everybody, including us, Suns, Cardinals, Rising, and everybody in between. Again, go check out 4 Peaks 8th Street Pub on January 25th.
And if you get out there earlier in the day, you can stop at Burrito Express on the way. Because you can have yourself a day, honestly. Go Burrito Express, then go to 4 Peaks, have a beer or two, stay there for a while, and then have more 4 Peaks food. But the key there is you start your day with Burrito Express.
Yes, sir.
The Tyger Campbell mid-range jumper of burritos. Let's just say it's fucking amazing. It's fucking
that
amazing.
hurts.
It's the reality of it. Someone said in the chat, Frankie needs one of them. He needs a mid-range jumper, and he needs some Burrito Express.
He does.
Maybe the Burrito Express will teach him how to shoot a mid-range jumper. Because I can't, the streets are saying that there's magical powers in these burritos. I can't make that claim. I don't want to lie to you if it's not true, but the streets are saying that there's magic in the burritos. Anyways, check them out. And if you buy a $25 Burrito Express gift card, and you get a free burrito, a free one. Kind of like the throws would be if Frankie got into the goddamn paint and drew fouls.
Stop it.
So yeah, check them out. Head over to your nearby Burrito Express location today and check them out on Twitter at BurritoEXP.
Yes, sir. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the Deef. Let's bring him in from DFA, Shane Diefenbach. Buddy, what the fuck happened?
I mean, you played a top 5 team in the country. Like, you were competing the entire time, and they showed why they're a top 5 team in the country. You had the luxury of holding Jaime Jaquez to 2 points for most of the game.
Yep.
35 minutes of it?
Yeah.
And then he showed why he's Jaime Jaquez and why he's been such a force at UCLA for 5 years. And Tyger Campbell showed why he is so good. And, like, let me pull up this stat. This is where I get lost a little bit. Campbell and Singleton combined for 43 points on 14 of 21 shooting.
Yep.
14 of 21 shooting, 43 points. When that is happening and you're in a game, like, I don't know what to say. Where I am not upset with the outcome by any means. I mean, I'm hurt by the outcome, but I'm not disappointed. It's just I'm disappointed in a lot of the reaction that we always see with ASU fans. This game wasn't close. And did you watch the fucking game?
Yeah.
It boils my blood, and I saw fans leaving, and when it started getting bad, it is what it is. But I don't know. This was really encouraging to me, and the guys are really broken up about this loss, and you can tell Bobby was pretty emotional in the press conference. He mentioned consistently about damage control. He kept saying that phrase, damage control, and what he's going to have to do in these next couple of days before the 48-hour turnaround to play USC and get these guys' heads straight, because this loss hurts. It hurts real bad.
Yeah. I think, and that's something we haven't talked about, but you brought up the guys. I know they talked about the atmosphere at DFA tonight. I know they broke records in terms of student attendance. It looked like a packed house. But I think that's something that can go so far beyond just Arizona State basketball, right? Is we've seen the mantra in the past about, ASU is going to find a way to lose. The quote-unquote sleeping giant, whatever, show up for the first half and be done, right? But this is an ASU team that finished the first half of this game, I mean, on just a ridiculous roll, right? You talk about the Des Cambridge half-court shot, but just getting fans out to these events, right? You got them there to the basketball game. Everyone's super hyped for the football season. Shane, you were there. What was it like being in that building tonight with a number 5 team coming to town?
It's hard to say that it was just as fun as the Kansas game that I went to and was able to storm the court as a student. That was pretty great, but I mean, it was almost as fun. I texted you guys. I literally got 4 "your heart rate is too high" notifications on my Apple Watch. Like, while I was sitting down, not cheering, not doing anything, just sitting there. And maybe it was because I was suppressing my emotions, but it was so unbelievable. This place can get so damn loud. It's the way it's built. It's how old it is, and the appeal of it. We love to hate on it, and the water turns off, the electricity doesn't work, whatever. But there's something magical about a packed house at DFA, and you could really feel, how dense the atmosphere was with these fans and how excited they were the entire night. And I genuinely, the Kansas runs that they went on, big shots from Remy, those were awesome, but I don't know if it ever got as loud as it did on a couple of the runs they were tonight, because it was so loud.
That's encouraging, man.
I mean, I can't imagine what it was like after that half-court shot.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
That we were going crazy here.
Totri was like, do something, and he fucking banks it in. I lost my damn
crazy.
mind. I lost my damn mind.
When you guys tweeted that, I knew that's exactly what happened. I knew shit through a TV screen.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest hope for the crowd is I mentioned it, my concern that maybe like AP voters, for example, will look at the score, see ASU lost by 12 and not really understand that this was in large part ASU's game. They were controlling this game for a lot, or not controlling, but you know what I mean. Hopefully the fans can recognize, since they were there, that this was a tremendous game. And like I have been trying to say, keep it in the context of the fact that damn near everybody on the planet thought ASU would lose to UCLA 2 times this year. So the fact that this was even competitive and that this was still the best team in the conference. Yeah. Like that, it's easy to be negative because it's a loss, but this was as close to a moral victory, I think, as you can get in a loss.
Absolutely.
Something to be encouraged about.
Because not only were you battling, but you had them on the ropes. You had Jaime Jaquez struggling to move the ball. There were moments in this game where he looked lost out there. And whether that be Desmond Cambridge stepping up or Des was on him a couple times, he couldn't do anything. And if it weren't for Tyger Campbell, if Tyger Campbell didn't play basketball tonight, or maybe 2 shots don't fall, ASU wins this game. Like, the amount of runs they would go on, huge 3 from Des and then a dunk from Dev, or vice versa, whatever it is, huge layup, a steal, a 3 by Nunez, every single time they brought the lead to 5 or 6, Campbell came down and hit a tough mid-range. And I just you can't say enough about a guy that, might not be considered a top-tier NBA draft prospect because he's been here so long, but he's such a winner, and he's just there's something about a guy that's been at a school like UCLA, the prestige that UCLA has, coached by the same coach and Mick Cronin, that can just get it done night in and night out, no matter the circumstances, no matter how loud it is. It was as hard as it was impressive to watch.
Yeah. I want to get back to something about the crowd too, because LTC makes an interesting point about how there's big time recruits in attendance. And this is, I guess, if anyone is watching the show and they are now doubting ASU, maybe not interested in going to games, like the recruits and stuff that are there, they don't give a shit about how good the basketball team is. They don't care if the basketball team wins this game. Yeah. What they're seeing is the fans, the environment of what it's like to be an athlete at ASU. And that's what makes an impact on recruits, not necessarily the result of the game. So go to the games, man. Like, keep going. This should not be discouraging to you. If anything, it should be encouraging.
Yeah, 100%. Bear 520 down in the chat. Arizona's the best team in the conference. We can't hear you from down there in the standings, but let us know when you're on the same level. Let's get to bottle service. Why don't we? This one kind of hurts because it felt like there was a lot left on the table. DJ Horn getting bottle service tonight. 14 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 assists. And we already kind of talked about it, Shane, but I want to get your perspective. This one stings a little bit simply because 11 of those 14 came in the first half.
Oh, it was 11. I thought it was all 14. Yeah. I mean, we talked to him after the game. He explained it as, he didn't like miss a bunch of shots in the second half like we've seen him do. It wasn't inefficiency that killed it. It was just as he said, the ball was moving differently in that second half. I think UCLA, the team they are, how well coached they are, they made adjustments, and DJ just couldn't get his looks that were working. And I think a lot of it is he likes to score a lot in transition, and they weren't running as much as they could have been in that second half. The biggest number is they forced 3 turnovers. UCLA only committed 3 turnovers in the second half, and that's not going to help your transition game. And that's where I think DJ thrives. Another area where he thrives that Bobby mentioned that I think doesn't get talked about enough is his defense. Yeah. We're always like, why is he always the leader in minutes each game? Why is he in so much? And I think it's because of the stuff we don't see. It's because of on the stat sheet. It's the defense. It's how he's willing to take anyone on at any given time. He was really good defensively tonight.
Yeah, had 2 steals tonight.
Real quick, Shane, you're 100% right. He scored all 14 of his points tonight in the first half of the game, which not good enough.
Not
man.
Great from a starting guard. Not good enough. Not good enough.
Can we stop saying there's DJ Horn games?
You're the only one that says that.
I didn't say that today. Shane tweeted it. He said we might be getting a DJ Horn game.
Yeah, and there was every reason to believe.
No, I asked the question. I didn't say we were. I said, I'm
answering it. I'm answering the question.
Well, there was every reason to believe that there was a DJ Horn game in the first half.
We got a DJ Horn half. That's fine. It's okay.
Here's something I want to talk about moving off of DJ Horn is the centers, specifically as LTC brings up. I know we mentioned it, Enoch. But, I mean, the Enoch thing was wild. That's become a meme. I don't really want to spend time on that. Why didn't we see Duke Brennan is really more of my question. He got 4 minutes just as Enoch did.
Duke slots in those minutes where they're transitioning from the starters to the bench and then back to the starters. Those 4 to 5 minutes that he gets each half. He picked up 2 fouls really fast. Yeah, Warren had to come out of the game, and that's why we saw Enoch in that first half. And I mean, Enoch looked really good.
He did. He looked a lot better than I thought he would.
A couple minutes. Yeah, I was impressed. And I don't know. I mean, credit to UCLA and what they did in the post. I heard you guys talking about Warren earlier and why he's not getting the ball. And though I agree with, the kind of guard you stigma this team has and Bobby not feeding his centers enough, I thought tonight that wasn't it. I think Bona was the biggest part of why that wasn't it. If you might not have been able to see it on the broadcast as well, but I mean, he was just pushing everybody and anybody around in the paint. Like you couldn't, there was no pass that could be made to Warren most of the night. It was tough to get the ball, and they're a top 5 team in the country. You got to keep going back to that.
Yeah, and that gets to the tall man versus big man conversation.
Yeah,
and a part of why, make sure you turn the volume up for this, Bear 520. Why Arizona worries me as a matchup for this team, because you have a guy like Umar Bala, who was not a factor really in the first game, but is such a big body. that can cause problems for a guy like Warren. It is interesting that up until this point, the big guys, him and Dante, that they had to face really weren't a problem. That's interesting.
Well, Warren is awesome defensively.
Yeah, he is. I'm talking more offensively, like Enoch getting or Warren getting his own offensively when he has guys that much stronger than him. Defensively, I'm not worried about him.
I think you could point to a lot of different places where this game was quote unquote lost, and I know the 12 points, the 12-point final differential doesn't really tell the full story of this game. I think for me, I know scoring down the stretch was tough, but this team relies on their bench a lot, right? They talk on the broadcast about how this is truly a 10 deep roster that Bobby plays with.
Hey, it was 11,
and they're just you didn't get enough offensive production. I feel like out of your bench, you didn't get as many.
Quiet 10 from Nunez though.
Outside of Nunez though, right? Yeah, Nunez and Enoch were the only bench guys to score. Correct?
Yes, Nunez had 10.
That might have been the loudest 10 I've ever seen. Not from watching it, but from hearing him. I mean,
you could die. I mean,
down the floor.
Yeah, I love him so much. He's so much fun.
Look at this motherfucker when he talks about Austin Nunez. He's like, "Oh, I just love this guy. He's so great."
It's like Marion.
Listen, it's hard not to have fun with him. Shout out to our man Dom, or one of our social interns, who had a fucking money picture of Austin.
Nice photo.
But the reason I bring that up is because you could see even in that picture just the fucking confidence this kid has, and that's why he's my favorite player.
Let's talk about that, because I spoke to him after the game and I asked him that exact question. Where does your confidence come from being a true freshman playing a number 5 team in the country? Is it something you've always had, or do you strive to be like that in the spotlight? And he said, quote, "I'm from Texas. Nobody respects you there. People look at me and think I don't have game." And I loved that. He totally talks, plays, acts like he has a chip on his shoulder all the time. And not only was he great of pulling up and taking big shots, having the confidence to do so, he also said that he wanted the task of guarding Tyger Campbell, and I thought he did fantastic.
Yeah.
Shots fell that only a guy like Tyger Campbell can make, but no fault to Nunez.
When your name's Tyger Campbell, you're gonna get yours.
Yeah, that's what. I wanted to say that. It's obviously it's our job to analyze this team and the problems with them and everything. The reality of it is you played two of the best players. You played one of the best players in the conference, and then Singleton, who played one of the best players in the conference tonight. There was nothing you could do about them. They were just making their shots, even when you made it tough for them. You're not beating a UCLA team when that happens. It's just the reality. No. Almost nobody is.
I think one of the only gripes I have on defense, though, is the corner.
The corner for Singleton?
Yeah, that was
100%.
That was inexcusable.
I 100% agree with that. But yeah, back to Nunez. That Texas line is a bar. But I mean, it's also true. That's a football state. They don't give a shit about basketball out there. So you have to earn that kind of respect as an athlete. Especially this is gonna get a little, but abstract, I guess. But when you're a high schooler and you like that kind of attention and shit like that, and all the football players are getting attention, you're gonna want to ball out to make sure that the student body recognizes, right? I love that. It all makes sense.
You got so deep there.
Yeah.
with everything.
Another thing that's really cool to see is kind of the mentor that DJ is going to become with him. Because DJ is a lot younger than everybody realizes. He's a junior, I believe, right? He a redshirt junior, I think. He was talking about Nunez and his growth he's had already since he was on campus, and he was talking about him like he was his kid. He was like, I remember when he was fresh little baby, first day on campus, and I could already tell there was something special about him. I didn't think he had a game like this, though, and they kind of joked and smiled even after a tough defeat. And it's just cool to see a guy like DJ who, we've spoken to him before. He's such a bright dude and just so ready for, I think, the role he's going to come into, because he's truly one of the captains of this team, and I think he's going to really strive or really do well in that role.
Yeah. And I mean, Cole brings up a point in the chat that Nunez still takes forever to get off screens. Campbell took advantage. As much as we're kind of pumping Nunez, he's still a freshman. There's still a lot of room for growth. That can't be lost, but he's doing so much more than I think any of us expected from him so far this year. And it's hard not to get excited about that. And especially when everything you just said about DJ, when you have that combination. And I mean, even Frankie, man, he's only a year older, but you could tell he has a certain maturity and kind of leadership. So, and a guy like Luther, who in and of himself, that's a whole other thing. It was disappointing tonight, in my opinion, but it's a recipe for success.
Frankie, I'm telling you, watching him and Tyger compete, I know Frankie didn't have the best night. Frankie can be Tyger Campbell. He has all of the attributes to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He is so close to breaking through that next, 15-8 every single night. He has everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what that next step is. I don't know what's missing, and that's why I'm not a basketball coach. But
I just think,
and he's close.
I think he needs to be better at playing like through or off of contact. I mean, you see it a lot where he's very good at getting to the basket, but he's not good at finishing through contact.
And I think
that takes
today was a big reality check for him because most of the season we've seen him be able to drive, go up for that and then dish it off. And UCLA clearly was watching the film because I don't think there was one pass that got through. Every single time he did that, it was a turnover. And credit to UCLA for that because they saw it coming. It wasn't just fluke, like I'm going to put my hands up and then throw my left hand down. No, it was like I'm going to act like I'm going to defend it, and then I'm going to steal the ball.
And Totri and I give him a lot of shit, but the reality is Mick Cronin is a very good basketball coach.
That's what I wanted to bring up, right? And to your point, like our job is to break down this game, break down this team, but at the end of the day, UCLA there's only 4 teams better in the nation than them right now. Right? Like they're that good. Tyger Campbell is that good. Mick Cronin is that good. That's just how UCLA is right now.
Yeah.
Right? They are the number 1 team in the conference for a reason. Not to say ASU can't get there. I think they showed very clearly tonight that through 35 minutes and change of this game, they can be that team.
Yeah. This is a team that you're going to have to respect in the tournament because they've showed very clearly that you play them one time, there's a chance they're going to beat you. Anybody in this conference. They only lost to Arizona by 9. This game was much closer than the 12-point deficit it ended with. Like this is still a very dangerous team. You got to keep that in perspective.
Very, very true. Before we move on to aftertaste, I want to tell you guys about the most dangerous way you can make some moolah. It is underdog fantasy.
Dangerous?
When I say yes, you just cut me off.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate you. When I say dangerous, I mean it is scary how much money you can make with underdog fantasy, guys. Their new pick'ems, their hires, their lowers. You can combine anything from NFL to NHL to MLB, even some esports in there, guys. It's easy to get started. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app. Sign up with promo code PHNX, and Underdog is going to match your first deposit up to 100 bones. And I know I said it's dangerous, guys, but it is safe and secure. Underdog Fantasy, go check them out.
It's dangerous in the Baker Mayfield sense. It's wake up feeling dangerous.
Hey, you download Underdog Fantasy, you're gonna wake up feeling dangerous.
You're gonna wake up feeling dangerous. You're gonna wake up feeling real dangerous too, because if you're smart, you went to bed on a more furniture bed.
I can't wait, bro.
That's what I was gonna say.
I can't wait.
The one silver lining of these late ass starts is that more furniture bed just hits a little different when you get home.
Yeah, it
like
does.
you say you're asleep before you even touch the mattress.
See, that's the problem though. It literally feels like 11 a.m. right now to me.
11 a.m.
Yes, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I might not sleep tonight.
Well,
genuinely, my heart rate is still like 110.
If there was something that was going to get you to sleep, it'd be that more furniture.
It would be, absolutely.
Yeah, right. You could save big on the best furniture in the valley when you head to morefurniture.com. That's morfurniture.com.
MC in the chat, which at this point I just think it's Mick Cronin in the chat calling himself a great coach and an angry elf.
That's what I call him all the time. He's an angry elf. I don't like his coaching style. That's why I just want to say, like, because I mentioned that we give him shit. The reason I give him shit is I don't like coaches that just shit on their players. I'm not saying shit on the players, but like that kind of aggressive, yelling type of coach.
That's a bald man.
Not really like at his players. Not really not my cup of tea. That's why I have a problem with it.
Also,
he's still a smart coach.
His head looked like a bruised apple tonight. It looked like somebody beat the fuck out of his head. It was tough to. Did it not look like, maybe not from your vantage point, but from the broadcast, it looked like somebody punched him in the back of the head.
I don't know. He did have bruises on his head.
That's all we're saying. Shane has left the shot.
Are they setting up for gymnastics?
I don't know.
Oh, is the Beauty and the Beast thing happening?
Yep.
Oh,
fucking right. That shit goes crazy.
Okay. While we're talking about Beauty and the Beast, Shane, what'd you guzzle on tonight?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're Beauty and the Beast.
We're just throwing it up and seeing what comes down. Shane, what you got for me?
Like throwing
I'm so glad I have headphones in. My goodness. It's 2 tequila shots.
Yeah. 2 tequila shots we took at Illegal Pete's?
Yeah, one came from Joe. Shout out Joe. And another came from another guy there. So it was some cool stuff in the works, and it was a good time. If you weren't at Illegal Pete's, shame on you. But it was really fun.
Was fun. Let's see. 2 tequila shots is pretty good, but I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy how this ended. This is like a reverse pickleback. You drink the pickle. You drink. You take a pickleback and you don't really know what you're doing, so you drink pickle juice and you're like, okay, and then you take a shot and you're like, wait, I fucked that up. It wasn't supposed to end that way, and I don't like how it ended. What did I do wrong? So yeah, a reverse pickleback, which is just drinking pickle juice and then drinking alcohol.
Shout out Charles as well.
Yeah, for real.
This tastes like when you wake up in the morning and you are craving your favorite kind of cereal, and you're like, I'm gonna have some Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and it is gonna be chef's fucking kiss on a Saturday.
There's no milk.
You get there, you pour the cereal, you go to the fridge, and there's no fucking milk. It's just tough.
It's even worse than that.
It's not what you want.
You were even close to the finish line. You had the milk. You got it out. You unscrewed the cap and you poured it, and you're like, ah, shit, it's rotten. It's lumpy.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, you to the very last minute you were in it, and then it just all got thrown away. Because then you got to throw away the cereal too. You can't even enjoy the dry cereal.
No. At that point, you eat the cereal with whatever you got to do. Not with the milk. Not with the milk.
But you already. Oh, God.
Not with the lumpy milk, bro.
I
not with the lumpy milk. Hey, I'm gonna need you to get straight. What are you doing, bro? Dude,
fucking.
Are you gagging right now?
Yes. Fucking rotten dairy is like the one thing that will like on site
lumpy, smelly.
No, stop it! I swear to God.
You know what?
There's no shot, right?
I'm not actually gonna throw up, but oh my God,
he's over here tripping about some lumpy, like
stop saying the words.
Milk.
What are we doing?
You know what? You know what rotten milk looks like? Tyger Campbell's hair. Lumpy, rotten, really good at basketball.
Damn.
Right?
Oh God, this hurts. It hurts. It stings. It's tough.
Shout out Emma for sneaking under the camera and putting a garbage can over here just to make sure I had something to throw up into. I'm not gonna throw up though, despite Totri's best efforts.
Yeah, I really tried, dude. Breaking news: attendance tonight at DFA 13,363. That is an all-time record of well over 5,000 students as well.
Fucking right. Keep
DFA
doing it.
Popped off tonight.
Keep doing it.
Shout out the fans, man. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. Like, this game feels like it was just so close of being a different vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like this
feels like
this.
It was,
but if they win this game, you're number one in the conference. I feel like at that point, I know there's a lot of conference play, but you ride the confidence from a win like this throughout conference play. You guarantee yourself a top 4 seed in the conference tournament, in my mind.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, I'd love to hear your opinion on this, but my take to Shawn is I feel like you have to win that USC game now.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to. But like, yes, the confidence of beating UCLA would have been awesome. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. But I think where people are losing me a little bit is when they don't understand that how much confidence this game gives you. Yeah, it sucks, but you learn from the mistakes. Nunez was so fast to answer one of the questions when somebody asked, do you learn more from, a win like Oregon or a loss like this? And he cut her off and was like, a loss for sure.
Yeah.
These are types of games where teams get better. This is a get better type of game. Now they know for a fact they can compete with anybody in the country.
Yeah.
Anyone. Lace up any given night and compete with anybody in the country. This is where confidence can be built from a loss. I know how sweet a win would have been. And yes, the being number one in the conference, but what have we talked about all year? It doesn't mean shit until Pac-12 play or the Pac-12 tournament.
And I mean, the reality is like, if you're a top 4 seed, it doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna have to play. You're gonna have to play UCLA or U of A at some point, anyways. Like, so.
You'll see these teams again.
Yeah, I mean, I think a win would have been nice, obviously, but you look at the Arizona game. It's a very similar situation. They played close against a team that everyone thinks is much better, and it is much better. They are much better. And then look how they came out afterwards. They were fine. They were firing. So I understand why you say that USC is a must-win game, and like I think for last year's team, if they were in this situation, 100% a must-win game because if you lose 2 games in last year's team, it feels like the wheels are falling off. They should beat USC. They're better than USC. But I'm not going to sit here and like if they lose that game, the season's over. I don't think that's the reality.
What did I say before the game, Shawn? I said tonight is almost house money at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
We started off so hot. you're supposed to lose to UCLA is
Yeah.
what everybody else says. So if you win, that's awesome. But if not, you're already overachieving. You just got to keep handling business, man.
Yeah.
Damage control, as Bobby said, that they're going to get right. They're going to prepare well, and they're going to learn from this. And I have full confidence that this team is going to play a ton better. And we're going to look back at this game and be like, man, if we were playing like this against UCLA when on X date, on March 1st, whenever it is, they win by 15. This team is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. The team is definitely going to learn from this. And I know the boys already brought it up, but every single one of our listeners, watchers, y'all got to learn from this too, because like Shane and Shawn said, if you missed the informal happy hour at Illegal Pete's, you missed out.
What are you doing?
You missed out tonight, but guess what? There's going to be plenty more down the stretch because there's a lot more ASU basketball and just ASU sporting events in general, guys.
I just remembered I have some in the fridge, leftovers for after this. Yep.
Oh, dude.
Fucking right.
That Illegal Pete's bowl that you brought back for me?
Dude, I had their quesadillas one other time, but I never had I had to reheat them, which they were still good, but this is the first time I had Illegal Pete's fresh.
Yeah.
Fucking
it's good.
Chipotle
it is really good. Exactly.
Chipotle who?
Exactly. I'm
Fuck
with you.
out of here.
I'm with you guys. They got bowls, tacos, salads, burritos, nachos, and they got some tequila.
Oh, they got the Marg going crazy.
The tequila?
Dude, and the queso, stop it. Shut the fuck up. That shit goes stupid.
That was
No, why are you always telling people to shut up?
Yo, who are you telling to shut up, though? That's crazy.
Fucking the doubters, the haters.
The haters.
Of which there are many.
Tyger Campbell. Illegal Pete's, guys.
You're joking, by the way. I know you're joking.
They're our go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Check them out.
Also, it was cool because CWP and I were sitting at the table watching the end of the Sabres game on his phone. It was just a vibe. It was fun. And finally got to meet Joe. It was dope. Oh man, I just realized why we lost.
Yeah,
we weren't wearing.
Yeah,
we weren't wearing Bad Birdie, man.
That's UCLA on the road. You can't wear it against the same team twice. Everybody knows that.
We didn't wear it against UCLA yet.
You want to beat them on the road?
We're saving for it.
Oh, we're saving it for the road. Saving it for the road. Okay,
that makes sense. I mean, the only reason it even matters is because the streets are saying that that Bad Birdie has magic in it.
Yeah.
I cannot confirm. I don't want to make unfounded claims, but the streets are saying the streets fuck with magic.
That's crazy.
And so does Bad Birdie, apparently, according to streets. So check them out. It's the greatest golf apparel of all time, but they also have hoodies and quarter
hats.
zips and shit. They have hats. They got a bucket hat. Their shit kind of goes crazy. I'm trying to get me a hoodie. I'm kind of been, I've been being extra nice to Max recently, trying to get him to give me one of these hoodies. So we'll see. I'll keep working on it. But check them out. You can get 15% off your order at badbirdiegolf.com when you use the promo code PHNX_sports15, PHNX_sports15. Check them out. It's the greatest goddamn golf apparel on the goddamn planet.
Yes, sir. Before we get out of here, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the Bobby board.
Bobby board.
Unfortunately, we don't get a new face. Dude,
I had a great Bobby face locked, ready to go for this.
This one is so much more it's so much darker.
It does seem darker, but it's crazy because it's the same. I think it's just the blue and all that.
That's fair. It's tough. And at this point, there is only one more row left that we can possibly get a full sweep.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an easy one. Oh, Shane, I don't know if you saw this. Stanford got the first win tonight over Oregon State.
They play?
Oregon State at Stanford. So,
cool.
The back is back, baby.
The columns are still alive, though.
Columns are still alive.
We still got alive if you beat USC.
We got 4 columns alive. 5 columns
alive.
So
you have to win the Pac-12 tournament and beat U of A and UCLA and Utah and USC.
It's part of their plan. Right? It's part of Bobby's plan. He knows what he's doing.
He
knows the Bobby board.
He is scheduling his wins specifically so we can get
also
a straight
totally fine if it's 1-2, 1-2.
What do you mean?
If one loss, 2 loss, 1 loss, 1 loss, 2 loss.
I will be okay with that. Particularly if those losses come in the exact same spots. If it's a loss to Arizona and UCLA again, I'd rather that than lose to any of the other teams on that line. Because they're not supposed to lose to any of the other teams on that line.
Very true.
But let's break it. Let's make it no or 1 loss.
For the rest of the season?
It's very fitting because maybe it doesn't mean anything. Because Bobby Hurley, I tweeted this clip out, and in the most Bobby Hurley fashion, he gave a kind of depressing but hilarious answer at the same time. Not meaning to at all, of course. He was asked about the atmosphere, and he said, yeah, it was whatever, talked about the atmosphere. And then he basically ended with, we just got to keep winning basketball games and trying to put ourselves in positions to win these basketball games with these moments like this. But it's not a Disney movie, fairy tales where, you're one game behind, you got this great crowd and it's our moment. That's not what life is. And that's not what it's about. You wish it was, but it's not real.
Fuck. That's so depressing.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just, that's Bobby Hurley for you.
Bobby.
It's great.
You want life to be this Disney movie, but it's not. It's not. It's awful. It's horrible to rip your life out.
Again, we talked about it earlier. He hasn't eaten all day, so
yeah, he's hungry.
Shout out LTC.
Again,
what's up?
That totally tells you with, you compare him and his staff to what the staff was for ASU football last year with Donnie Henderson. We don't know if he even cares. This is telling you that your head basketball coach cares more than anyone could imagine. I mean, I don't want to say he was, but it looked like he was damn near in tears when he was closing that post game. He cared. He snapped on somebody as well. It was pretty fun. I'll tell you guys about that later.
Oh,
Didn't
he give a shit for saying stories?
He does. He did.
I'll tell you what what was asked. Basically, the question was, the offense stalled, and
he snapped on a reporter.
Yeah, who'd you think he snapped
I thought you said you snapped on a player.
Oh, no.
No.
Got you.
The offense stalled, and it turned into hero ball at some point, and he responded with basically, I don't want to hear that right now. I don't know if you weren't listening 2 minutes ago. I already explained what the offense was. This isn't what this team is about. Blah blah blah. And honestly, fuck yeah, Bobby. He's heard that his entire career.
Yeah.
It feels like it's 101. That's just how this team plays and works. And they're 15-3 or what? 15-4 now.
4 now. Yeah.
15-4. Just competed with the number 5 team in the country. I don't think you have any room to be judging what the offense is doing, especially against the number 2 defensive team in the nation in terms of causing turnovers. Like, I thought they were great tonight, and I don't want to take anything away from the players.
Yeah, I mean, you're a coach. You live and die by your system. He didn't get here on accident. If I am not mistaken, he knocked when he was the head coach at the University of Buffalo. He ended, was it Arizona season? I think it was Arizona season. So
there you go. The more you know. Shane, any final thoughts before you let you go home?
The players have said it many times. Bobby has said it. Everybody that works here has said it. Just shout out the fans. Shout out everyone that came out. Shout out the students. And I don't know how you could be, but don't be disappointed in what you saw at the end of the game tonight and just what you saw in general tonight. Desmond Cambridge did a fucking 360 dunk.
Yeah, holy shit,
hit a half-court
right?
shot. Like, this is what this team is. We have been saying this entire year. This is the most fun team I've seen in years. This is the most fun team I've covered ever. It's not even close. Come out to these games, support them, watch every game. You're not going to regret it. And pack the house on Saturday, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it's I don't want to make light of it, but it to a certain extent. There's trauma amongst ASU fans. I understand. It's been tough for a while to be an ASU fan, and one loss can feel like everything is going wrong. But you'd lie to yourself if you wouldn't say that you would have killed for this last season to be where we are this year. Last year,
yeah, you would have traded the UCLA win to be where you're at.
Exactly. So, like I've been saying the whole show, it's all about keeping everything in perspective.
100%. Well said.
Right, music's kicking in. I'll see you guys.
Is Lou
later.
getting shots up?
Is setting up.
Somebody better be getting shots up.
They're setting up.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, of course.
You can't really see it, but yeah.
All right, Shane. We will see you on the other side, buddy. Guys, if you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Shane at Shane Deef. You can follow Shawn DePaz at Shawn_DePaz.
Ready to vomit over the thought of
spoiled milk?
Oh my God, over spoiled milk.
Lumpy milk.
God damn it.
We'll see you guys on Friday at 2 p.m., just about 14 hours from now. Yes.
Shout out Nicole Douglas, got drafted to the NWSL. Shout out ASU women's tennis for I don't even remember who the fuck they played because fuck them, but they dominated 7-0 today.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Guys, enjoy the rest of your evening and I guess your morning at this point.
Oh shit.
We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.